everyone. My name is Jigisha Kiran Lad. Today I'll be presenting my HR Employee Attrition Dashboard, which I created using Power BI Service Dashboard, where the final interactive dashboard was built. The purpose of this dashboard is to analyze employee attrition by centralizing HR data to uncover key patterns and risk factors, providing interactive insights that support strategic HR decision making. The whole purpose of this project is to analyze employee attrition from multiple angles, such as department, gender, education, job role, performance, and tenure, to help the organization understand why employees are leaving and what actions the HR might take. Talking about the data set, it is downloaded from Kaggle. The file is in CSV format and the data is in Excel format. Now let's have a look at the Word file. Before directly jumping to dashboard, let's have a look at Power BI desktop. To begin building this dashboard, I first uploaded the dataset into Power BI desktop. I started by launching Power BI desktop, and once I opened it, I could see main tabs such as Home, Insert, Modeling View, Optimize, and Help. So from the Home tab, I clicked on Get Data, from where I clicked on Text CSV and loaded the entire CSV file inside the Power BI desktop. This step ensured that all raw HR data was successfully imported into the workspace. After loading the data, the next essential step was to clean the data. For this, I went to Home tab again and selected Transform Data and Transform Data once again. This opened the Power Query editor where I examined the dataset and cleaned it according to the requirements of the dashboard. Here, I removed the unnecessary fields, corrected the data types, created meaningful groups, and shaped the data exactly in the form that is needed for the analysis. Once the cleaning process was complete, I clicked Close and Apply, which loaded the clean data back into the model. Following this, I created columns and measures, which were required for building different visuals such as attrition rate, income averages, and satisfaction aggregate. This measure helped to make the visuals more insightful and accurate. After completing all this visual and formatting correctly, I published the report. For that, I clicked Publish on the home, which uploaded the entire Power BI desktop to the Power BI service. This made the desktop dashboard available online, allowing all visuals and pages to be viewed and interacted within the Power BI service environment. After publishing the Power BI desktop file, a message appears giving the option to open the report directly in the Power BI service, or I can click that pop up to open it immediately, or I can go to my browser and simply search for Power BI service login. Once I log in with my credentials, I can see the uploaded reports inside my workspace. By browsing Power BI Service Login, you can log in into the Microsoft Power BI, which will get you to this window. Here, there is my workspace where there are two files. One is HR Employee Attrition, and the second is also HR Employee Attrition, but the dashboard file is shown by the symbol of dashboard. If I open this file, it is a report in Power BI service where my all the visuals and report pages become interactive. By clicking on the edit option, I can see the visualizations that I can create on this dashboard. So I use the visuals which are available in the visualization pane to design the entire dashboard. Power BI service provides a various range of visuals such as stacked bar chart, stacked column chart, cluster bar chart, cluster column chart, area chart, line chart, waterfall chart, scatter chart, pie chart, donut, table view, matrix, KPI card. Using this visual, I structured each page of the dashboard to present the HR analytics story clearly and interactively. All the visuals of the dashboard are connected. So when I click on any category, the rest of the visuals automatically filter and update, making the analysis more meaningful. So, my dashboard consists of 6 pages, each designed with specific analytical objectives. As I walk you through each page, I will explain the importance of every visualization, significance of each chart, what each page summarizes, and importantly, how interactions between visuals reveal deeper insight. Now, let's go to the dashboard. By clicking on this button, we will get a full screen mode view. The first page acts as the overall summary dashboard. This page gives a high level view of organization's attrition status and highlights the most important KPI and category wise attrition trends. At the topmost, we have the total employees, which are 1,470. Second is the overall percentage of employees who have left the company. It is a crucial metric because it gives HR management a single, clear figure to understand the severity of attrition. The trend axis helps us to visualize how attrition varies across different groups, making this KPI more meaningful than a simpler number. Next, we have another KPI, which is average monthly income. This helps us to understand the general salary of employees. Salary often plays a major role in employee motivation and retention. So, displaying it as a major KPI allows HR to quickly compare compensation levels with attrition trends across the other visuals on the page. Moving ahead, we have total attritions by department visualization. This bar chart helps to identify which department face the highest turnover. By looking the departments like research and development, sales, human resources can quickly pinpoint which functions need immediate attention. Alongside this, we have total attritions by job role and gender, which breaks down attrition at a more detailed level. This helps us to understand whether a certain job, like sales executives, laboratory technicians, research scientists, have higher attrition rates, and whether gender plays any role in attrition patterns. So, page 1 gives a high level view of attrition across the company. Total attrition percentage is the baseline we use to understand companies' overall turnover. Average monthly income is a major cause of attrition. So this KPI helps to frame financial insight, while total attrition by department helps to quickly identify which department is mostly affected by attrition. And that total attrition by job role and gender examine whether gender-wise attention is concentrated in a specific role. If I click on sales in this, so the other values are also changed. The total attrition rate updates to show sales specific attrition. Average monthly income adjusts to salary levels of those who left the sales. The job role and gender chart highlights sales related roles like sales executive or sales representative. The significance is that it instantly isolates attrition hotspots in specific departments. Similarly, if I click female in this chart, then the total attrition by department chart updates to show department-wise attrition among the female employees only. Attrition rate KPI recalculates for female attrition. Average monthly income updates to reflect salary for females who left. So the significance is it reveals the gender specific attrition pattern and potential diversity related issue. So this page summarizes where is attrition happening the most and among which roles and gender groups it is happening. Moving on to the page number 2, which focuses on the employee demographics and department-wise distribution. This page helps us to understand who our employees are and how demographics influence attrition. The first visual on this page is total employees by department and gender. This visual helps us to see exactly how many employees belong to each department, broken down by gender. It provides a clear demographic distribution and helps HR assess representation and diversity across departments. Next, we have attrition rate new by age group new and gender. So this is important because age is major factor in attrition. For example, younger employees may leave due to career growth, while mid-career employees may leave for better opportunities or dissatisfaction. By using gender as a category, this chart allows to analyze patterns in deeper detail and identify if any specific age gender group is at higher risk. The next visual is attrition rate by education field. Education background significantly influences job roles, growth expectation, and career pathways. This chart helps HR to understand which educational groups experience higher turnover. For example, life science, medical, technical, or marketing fields. These are all the fields that are listed on y axis. We also have total employees by job role, which which is very helpful for workforce planning, understanding resource allocation, and identifying roles where employee representation is very high or very low. So, the total employees by department and gender helps to determine staffing level, whether attrition affects already understaffed department. Attrition rate by age group and gender reveals which age group are most likely to leave. Attrition rate by education field shows whether certain academic backgrounds experience more attrition, while the total employee by job roles shows which roles have highest workforce concentration. If I click 26 to 30 here, the education field chart updates to show which field experiences attrition within this age group. As it can be seen here, job role chart updates to display which job roles 26 to 30-year-olds are living. Department and gender chart updates to show the gender distribution for this age category. It helps to understand age specific reason behind attrition. Similarly, if I click life science here, it will update the other visuals. The age group visual updates to show age-wise attrition among life science graduates. Job role visuals updates to show where life science employees are working. Department and gender visual adjust accordingly. This signals whether certain educational background struggle with role fit or career alignment. Moving on to the page number 3 of dashboard. This page primarily focuses on understanding employee satisfaction and performance metrics, which are the two most important factors linked to attrition. The first visual on this page is the matrix, which displays structured information in a tabular format. The purpose of adding a matrix here is to provide a clear, detailed breakdown of key HR attributes. This view helps us analyze multiple fields together in a very organized way. It allows comparisons across job roles, departments, satisfaction levels, and other employees' attributions. The matrix is particularly useful because it not only summarizes the data but also gives a deeper, multidimensional understanding that the bar charts or KPIs alone cannot provide. Next visual that displays the average of job satisfaction by job role. This visual helps us to understand how satisfied employees are in different job roles. Job satisfaction has a direct connection with attrition. Lower job satisfaction often leads to higher turnover. Here, when I click on any job role in this chart, the matrix updates instantly. This interactivity highlights how different job role compares in terms of job satisfaction and helps identify which position may need HR interventions. The next visual is the average performance rating. This allows us to see how employees in different roles are rated based on their performance. Performance rating can reveal whether high attrition is coming from high performance employee or low performing one. For example, if a high performing role shows low satisfaction and high attrition, that becomes a critical concern for HR. So, the matrix table displays detailed structure employee information while average job satisfaction by job role shows satisfaction level per role, helping identify moral values or moral issues. Average performance rating allows comparison of satisfaction and performance pattern. If I click on research scientist here, it will change the other visualization. Performance rating updates shows performance for research scientists only, and the metrics filter to show only research scientist attributes. Next, I'll explain page 4, which focuses on three important factors linked to attrition: tenure, monthly income, and overtime. The first visual is attrition rate by tenure bucket. This chart shows how attrition varies depending on how long employees have been with the company. Tenure plays a huge role. New employees often live within the first few years, while very few long term employees tend to stay. This visual helps HR understand exactly at which stage employees are most likely to live. Next, we have average of monthly income by years at company. This visual shows how salary progresses with experience. If salary growth is too slow for certain employee groups, that can contribute to dissatisfaction and turnover. This visual helps HR identify whether compensation is competitive across the tenure levels. We also have count of employee number by department and overtime. The visual shows how many employees in each department are required to work overtime. High overtime workload often lead to burnout, stress, low performance, and ultimately attrition. To complement this, we have count of attrition by overtime. This directly shows whether the employee who took or work overtime are living at a higher rate. In most organizations, attrition is significantly higher among the employees required to work overtime. So, the attrition rate by tenure bucket shows if early career employees live more frequently. Average monthly income by years at company reveals salary progress over tenure. Employee count by overtime and department shows how much overtime employees work by department, and the attrition count by overtime usually reveals that overtime correlates with high attrition. Clicking on overtime yes will show all the visuals to show behavior of overtime employees only. Tenure chart shows which tenure group with overtime live the most, while the salary chart shows compensation levels of overtime work. This highlights whether overtime leads to burnout or it pays dissatisfaction. If I click less than 1 year in tenure bucket, the overtime charts update to show how new employees handle overtime. Salary visualization show income for those with less than 2 years of experience. Attrition by overtime updates to reflect whether new employees are struggling because of work pressure. Early tenure attrition is costly, so this interaction helps to identify onboarding or workload issues. This page summarizes how do tenure, overtime, and income influence the attrition. Moving on to the page number 5. Page 5 of dashboard provides a more detailed data-rich view using a table and a matrix. The goal of this page is to give a deep, granular understanding of employee dataset so that HR managers or analysts can verify any individual level information or compare specific categories. The table visual allows us to view employee level details. It includes essential columns such as age, department, job role, education field, monthly income, and attrition status. This visual helps HR to drill down into specific employee profile. If HR want to check the details of employees who have left, they can simply apply filters and view the information at once. Next, the matrix visual summarizes multiple fields by grouping them in rows and columns. The matrix on this page helps cross compare various factors such as department versus attrition, education field versus job role, or any combination that is meaningful for analysis. It is different from simple table because it organizes information in a pivot table style, helping expose patterns that might not be available in raw data. So the table shows employee level data while the metrics show multi-layer breakdown of department, roles, fields, etc. I click on Sales Executive. The table displays detailed data for Sales Executive, while the matrix shows their role distribution, tenure, and education. If I click on any other department in the table, both the table and the matrix update simultaneously. This means the HR can immediately see which employee belong to that department, what their attributes are, and how their attrition or retention status compares to others. This helps the HR to access employee level insights that support decision from earlier pages. Finally, moving to page number 6, which focuses on distribution and comparison across education field, department, and job role. The first visual on this page is the ribbon chart, which shows ranking of categories over a dimension. In this case, job roles across different education fields. The ribbon chart helps us to see how job roles shift or rank when grouped by educational background. The strength of ribbon chart is that it not only shows count values but also tracks how the relative ranking of each job role changes. With help, identify the job roles dominate in each category. Alongside, we have another comparison visual that displays the count of job roles by education field. This visual complements the ribbon chart by showing actual category wise distribution in a simple, straightforward manner. So, while ribbon chart shows ranking movement, the second visual shows exact count. If I click on a particular education field, like life science, in the comparison visual, the ribbon chart will immediately adjust to highlight how job roles behave, specifically for that education group. Similarly, clicking on job role on the ribbon chart filters the second visual to show its distribution across the field. If I click research and department in the If I click on research and development in the tenure table, the education field visuals updates to show educational backgrounds feeding into the R&D. It helps to identify whether the department hires specialized or diverse academic talent. So it shows whether the education to role pipeline is stronger or broken. To conclude, this dashboard provides a complete interactive data driven understanding of employee attrition. Through interactivity and filters, we discovered which departments struggle most with turnover, which age groups and education fields face high attrition, how satisfaction and performance relate to retention, how overtime, tenure, and salary impact employee decisions, how job roles and education fields align or misalign. Ultimately, this dashboard empowers decision makers to develop targeted retention strategies, improve working force planning, and create a healthier, more stable work environment. By leveraging Power BI's capabilities, we are able to transform raw data into a meaningful and strategic tool that supports better decision making and contributes to building a stronger organization. Thank you.